Good evening, my friends. Tonight I bestow upon you an ASMR video in tribute to Tom Waits. For those that don't know about Tom Waits, he is a well-known singer-songwriter, poet, and actor. His voice sticks out like a sore thumb. I will be reading 5 of his well-known spoken word poems, so turn the lights off, sit back, relax, and enjoy the dark and mischievous mind of Tom Waits.
The ocean doesn't want me today, but I'll be back tomorrow to play, and the strangles will take me down deep in their brine, the mischievous brain gels down into the endless blue wine. I'll open up my head and let out all of my time. I'd love to go drowning and to stay, but the ocean doesn't want me today. I'll go in up to here. It can't possibly hurt. All they will find is my beer and my shirt. A riptide is raging and the lifeguard is away, but the ocean doesn't want me today. The ocean doesn't want me today. Well, it's 9th and Hennepin. All the donuts have names that sound like prostitutes, and the moon's teeth marks are on the sky like a tarp thrown over all this. And the broken umbrellas, like dead birds, and the steam comes out of the grill like the whole goddamn town is ready to blow. And the bricks are all scarred with jailhouse tattoos, and everyone is behaving like dogs, and the horses are coming down Violin Road, and Dutch is dead on his feet, and the rooms all smell like diesel, and you take on the dreams of the ones that have slept there. And I'm lost in the window. I hide in the stairway. I hang in the curtain, and I sleep in your hat. And no one brings anything small into a bar around here. They all started out with bad directions, and the girl behind the counter has a tattooed tear. One for every year he's away, she said, such a crumbling beauty. But there's nothing wrong with her that $100 won't fix. She has that razor sadness that only gets worse with the clang and the thunder of the Southern Pacific going by. As the clock ticks out like a dripping faucet, till you're full of rag water and bitters and blue ruin, and you spill out over the side to anyone who will listen. And I've seen it all through the yellow windows of the evening train. We put up our tent on a dark green knoll outside of town by the train tracks, and a seagull dumb top in the bill was Horseface Ethel, and her marvelous pigs in satin. We pounded our stakes in the ground, all powder brown, and the branches spread like scary fingers reaching. We were in a pasture in Kankakee, and one-eyed Myra, the queen of the galley who trained the ostrich and the camels. She looked at me squinty with her one good eye and a Roy Orbison t-shirt as she bottle-fed an orangutan named Tripod. And then there was Yodeling Elaine, the queen of the air, who wore a $sign medallion. And she had a tiny bubble of spittle around her nostril and a little rusty tear, for she had lassoed and lost another tipsy sailor and over in the burnt yellow tent by the tractor. The music was like electric sugar, and Zuzo Bolin played stave and chain and mighty tiny on the saw, and he threw his head back with a mouthful of gold teeth. And they played Lopsided Heart and Moon over Dog Street. By the time they played Moanin' Low, I was soaking wet and wild-eyed. And Dr. Bliss slipped me a preparation, and I fell asleep with livery stable blues in my ear. And me and Molly Hoey drank Bruno and Kool-Aid. She had a tattooed gun made out of a cassette motor, and a guitar $1 string, and she soaked in a hanky and 3 roses and rubbed it on the spot. And she drew a rickety heart and a bent arrow, and it hurt like hell. And Funeral Wells spun Poodle Murphy on the target as she threw his hardware. Only once in Sheboygan did he miss at a matinee on Diamond Pier, and she'd never let him forget it. They were doing 2 shows, and she had a high fever, and he took off a piece of her ear, and Tip Little told her she should leave the bum, but Poodle said, "He fetched me last time I run, and I'd like to hammer this ring into a bullet, and I wish I had some whiskey and a gun. My dear, I wish I had some whiskey and a gun, my dear." Frank settled down in the valley, and he hung his wild years on a nail that he drove through his wife's forehead. He sold used office furniture out there on San Francisco Road and assumed a $30,000 loan at a 15% and put a down payment on a little 2-bedroom place. His wife was a spent piece of used jet trash, made good Bloody Marys, kept her mouth shut most of the time, and had a little chihuahua named Carlos. And he had some kind of skin disease and was totally blind. They had a thoroughly modern kitchen, self-cleaning oven, the whole bit. Frank drove a little sedan, and they were so happy. One night, Frank was on his way home from work, stopped at the liquor store, picked up a couple of Mickey's Big Mouths, drank them in the car on his way to the Shell station. He got a gallon of gas in the can, drove home, doused everything in the house, torched it, parked across the street laughing, watching it burn, all Halloween orange and chimney red. Frank put on a top 40 station, got on the Hollywood freeway, headed north. Never could stand that dog. What's he building in there? What the hell is he building in there? He has subscription to those magazines. He never waves when he goes by. He's hiding something from the rest of us. He's all to himself. I think I know why. He took down the tire swing from the pepper tree. He has no children of his own, you see. He has no dog, and he has no friends. And his lawn is dying. And what about all those packages he sends? What's he building in there with that hook light on the stairs? What's he building in there? I'll tell you one thing he's not building. A playhouse for the children. What's he building in there? Now what's that sound from under the door? He's pounding nails into a hardwood floor. And I swear to God I heard someone moaning low. And I keep seeing the blue light of a TV show. He has a router and a table saw. And you won't believe what Mr. Stitches saw. There's poison underneath the sink, of course, but there's also enough for formaldehyde to choke a horse. What's he building in there? What the hell is he building in there? I heard he has an ex-wife in some place called Mayor's Income, Tennessee. And he used to have a consulting business in Indonesia. But what is he building in there? What the hell is he building in there? He has no friends, but he gets a lot of mail. I'll bet he spent a little time in jail. I heard he was up on the roof last night, signaling with a flashlight. And what's that tune he's always whistling? What's he building in there? What's he building in there? We have a right to know.
And that does it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're still awake, please subscribe to my channel. Hopefully you weren't too creeped out. I will see you guys again very soon. And if you are asleep, I hope you're sleeping well. I'll see you guys again very soon. Sleep tight. Don't let the boogeyman get you.
Then Frank put on a top of. Then Then Frank put on a. Then Frank put on a top of. Oh my God. Then Frank put on a top 40 station. Got on the holiday. Then Frank put on a top 40 station. Got on the hol. Then Frank put on a top 40 station. Got on the Hollywood. Wow, I am having a hard time reading this.